morning, friends, and welcome back to Trans India. Real people, real emotions. Last month, we were at the Daimler India commercial vehicle facility in Oragadam in Tamil Nadu. I remember visiting this place when there was hardly anything there except for the test track that the company had set up to test their trucks. This was perhaps the first time in India that any company had a test track even before their products or the manufacturing facility. However, over the years, the facility has grown, and every visit at this facility has something new and spectacular at display. This time was no different, and the center of attraction during this visit was the simulator that Daimler India had set up not just to train truck drivers but also monitor their driving habits very closely. And when I say very closely, I literally mean very closely. Every action is monitored and recorded, which is then used for training. According to data recorded, there has been a significant improvement in the driver's performance post the training schedule. We spent a lot of time understanding the learning techniques and even got the opportunity to test my abilities in the simulator driving in different terrains. It was truly an amazing experience, and the level of detailing was phenomenal. Later, I was thrown around the plant to witness very small techniques that have gone a long way in removing any chances of errors and improving efficiency. A simple example: all parts in the assembly line are named after food items and city names. This way, there is no chance of a communication gap or error, especially since the workers in the assembly line come from different geographies. We were also shown the vertical warehouse set up for stocking critical parts, another setup that improved efficiency, enhanced space utilization, and minimized chances of error. We also got a chance to interact with Mr. Pradeep Kumar Thimmaiyan, where we discussed a lot of things, including the focus on safety of the vehicle and the driver. Coming up after this very short break, our interaction with Pradeep, the President and Chief Technology Officer at Daimler India Commercial Vehicles. See you on the other side of this break. You are watching Trans India, real people, real emotions.
For mighty category, and this goes to Truckage Multi Ventures Private Limited, and this goes to Mr. Chetan Lodaya from Navi, Mumbai. Can we please have a huge round of applause for Mr. Chetan?
Your good name, sir?
Chetan Lodaya.
And your company name?
ट्रैकेट मल्टी वेंचर्स प्राइवेट लिमिटेड, ट्रैकेट ट्रांसपोर्ट मार्केट हमारा मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन का नाम है.
Okay, so what you guys mainly deal with?
हम लोग लॉजिस्टिक के लिए सोल्यूशन प्रोवाइड करते हैं. हमारी मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन के थ्रू ट्रक ओनर्स को और मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को हम लोग एक प्लेटफॉर्म पर लाकर उनके चैलेंजेस को इजी करते हैं.
ओके, दैट्स ग्रेट. सो ये अवार्ड हाथ में लेके आपको कैसा फील हो रहा है?
अमेजिंग, बहुत ही मतलब एक्सीलेंट फील हो रहा है. एंड थैंक्स करना चाहूँगा अपने इंडिया 5000 के टीम को कि हमें बेस्ट आईटी अवार्ड कंपनी के लिए उन्होंने सिलेक्ट किया.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So, is there any positive changes you think you guys are making in this business community?
डेफिनेटली, क्योंकि लॉजिस्टिक इंडस्ट्रीज़ में बहुत सारे अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड गैप्स है और हमने बहुत सारा रिसर्च करके उनके प्रॉब्लम्स को आइडेंटिफाई किया. एंड रिटर्न लोड फॉर देयर ट्रक, ये हमारा एक कॉन्सेप्ट है. और मैन्युफैक्चरर्स लोगों को राइट टाइम पे राइट व्हीकल मिलना बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता था, तो हम दोनों को मिलाने के लिए ये प्लेटफॉर्म हमने इंटीग्रेट किया हुआ है.
Would you like to thanks anyone?
हाँ, मैं मेरी पूरी टीम को थैंक्स करना चाहूँगा. मैं हमारे पेरेंट्स को, हमारी फैमिली को, जो लोग मुझे सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं इस इंडस्ट्री में, जो सभी की तरफ से, जो हमारे एसोसिएशंस हैं, बॉम्बे गुड्स ट्रांसपोर्ट एसोसिएशन, ऑल इंडिया कम्युनिकेशन एसोसिएशन, सबको मैं थैंक यू करना चाहूँगा.
और सबसे स्पेशल थैंक्स करना चाहूँगा श्रीमद राजचंद्र आत्मतत्व रिसर्च सेंटर के फाउंडर श्री प्रेमाचार्य जी का.
Thank you so much, sir. Good to see you here. Thank you so much, and all the best for your future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
School, बच्चों का दूसरा घर होता है और इस घर का ख्याल रखना एक प्रिंसिपल के लिए आसान नहीं। पढ़ाई के साथ बच्चों का आराम, उनकी सेफ्टी, छोटी से छोटी चीज़ मेरी प्रायोरिटी है। वैसे ही स्कूल बस चुनना भी एक बहुत बड़ा डिसीजन था। पेरेंट्स का पीस ऑफ माइंड, मैनेजमेंट का भरोसा और बजट साथ लिए चलना पड़ता है। इसीलिए कभी कभी फर्म भी बनना पड़ता है। आखिर कोई अपने बच्चों की जिम्मेदारी मुझे दे रहा है तो कोई बजट की। लेकिन इतने सालों में एक चीज़ समझ आई है, अगर सही डिसीजन लें तो सबसे ज़्यादा प्यार भी प्रिंसिपल को ही मिलता है।
चुनिए महिंद्रा क्रूजियर स्कूल बसेस। यह है मजबूत ट्यूबुलर स्ट्रक्चर, एंटी लॉक ब्रेकिंग, एंटी रोल बार, पैराबोलिक सस्पेंशन, आईमैक्स, वाइडर सीट्स और बेस्ट इन क्लास माइलेज के साथ बच्चों के लिए सेफ और बाकी सब के लिए सबसे स्मार्ट चॉइस, महिंद्रा क्रूजियर स्कूल बस।
Welcome back to Trans India. Real people, real emotions. We are at the manufacturing facility of Daimler India commercial vehicles and interacting with Mr. Pradeep Kumar Thimmaiyan, the President and Chief Technology Officer at Daimler India commercial vehicles.
To start with, can you tell us how was the transition from BS6 phase 1 to the OBD phase 2 that happened? How smooth was that?
Yeah, so the OBD2 or BS6.2 or phase 2, how it is called in the industry, for us, to be honest, was actually very smooth, because 90% of what was needed was already prepared with BS6.1. Luckily, we had the regulation released for both together at one point of time, so which actually helped us to foresee and then prepare it. So how we used this opportunity was not just focusing on meeting the regulation, right? So with every model year, we target to make the vehicles better than its predecessor, right? So with that motive, then we actually worked on how we can add more value to our customers, how we can make them more successful, right? So we increase the power of most of the vehicles. So we offer higher power, which actually helps in terms of better turnaround time for the customers. In all the vehicles, we extended the service interval in some cases by 100%, in some cases by plus 60%. And in almost the complete portfolio, we improved on the fuel efficiency. We also added a lot of new models along with what we were having. And 6 months into the market, and then we have very positive feedback from the complete portfolio that we have launched.
So what are the typical changes that one would see in OBD phase 1 and phase 2? Typically, from a layman's point of view, what changed?
To be honest, on the technical side, there is not much of change.
Okay.
Right? So it is only with OBD2, additional checkpoints are added, which will actually help to ensure that until the end of life of the vehicle, the emission is constantly checked. So we have in-use conformity methodologies defined, and we have to confirm the emission in different duty cycles in the country, which was already implemented as PEMS in OBD1, but the limits were not specified at that point of time, because we had to monitor the usage duty cycles in the country, and that was all done, and then we got the limits, and we have to now meet those limits, so which fortunately we were already meeting with our 6.1.
Okay.
So these are the things. Basically, if I have to tell in one line about OBD2, it is nothing but ensuring that the emission is met throughout the life cycle of the vehicle. And how that is done?
So, transporters are not very happy with the fact that although nothing has changed in the truck, but the prices have gone up. How do you justify that?
Okay, so as I said, it depends on how the base is prepared, right? So if the base was not prepared in 6.1, there is actually hardware change, right? So a majority of what has been done from 6.1 to 6.2 was on the software side. OEMs have to meet the emission for a period of 7 lakh kilometers, and during this period, it has to be monitored and it has to meet the performance guidelines given by the standard. So this means a lot of work has to go in terms of software. Today the vehicles are becoming more and more software driven, right? So a lot of things you can't visually see, but the amount of capital goes inside in terms of development is enormous. And that actually is starting with OBD2, with a lot of data, a lot of software which is needed to make sure that the vehicles are running and then meeting the regulation for 7 lakh kilometers of life.
But Pradeep, does that also mean that the vehicles which earlier used to be, taken care of by roadside mechanics, that cannot happen anymore? They necessarily have to go back to the service station.
The answer is yes, because with OBD2, as I mentioned, the in-service compliance has to be met for the life, which is 7 lakh kilometers. It is equal responsibility of the OEM and then the transporters to make sure that we are meeting this. First of all, it is in the interest of all of us, right? So if the vehicle is not meeting the emission, it means we are putting our health and our generation's health under risk. And so from that point of view, we have to meet. Second, it is also a responsibility to follow the law of the land, right? So any roadside mechanic, without having proper knowledge, tries to fiddle around with any sensor, then the vehicle may not meet the norm, right? And it doesn't meet, then there are certain OBD methodologies defined by which then the vehicle will go into limp home mode. So then anyhow, eventually the vehicle has to be taken back to the authorized service center. Instead, it is better not to touch anything respect to engine or after treatment system or electronics with a roadside mechanic.
How has DICV prepared or upgraded its network to meet these requirements of taking care of BS6 and now BS6 OBD2 vehicles?
So for Bharat Benz, we actually keep expanding our network. Year after year, we increase the touch points for our customers. By end of this year, we will already have close to 350 touch points for the Bharat Benz across the country, starting from down south until Leh up north, right? So these service centers are fully equipped to handle all these new technologies. On top of it, we have additional support systems with on-road service, on-site service, plus also for certain applications, we offer service delivery commitments through special programs like Rakshana, which helps to make sure that all these technologies are serviced and the vehicles are available for our customers.
Pradeep, our transport minister has been giving a tough time to OEMs with his ambitious plans. We jumped from BS4 to BS6 and now Euro 7 is already being talked about. How much is DICV prepared towards Euro 7?
As DICV, we are fully committed to the nation's plan for progress, which will help the country as a whole and then mankind as a whole, right? So from that perspective, we are fully supporting such transition, and that's how we also prepared ourselves for BS6 on time and then also proactively prepared ourselves for BS 6.2. Moving forward, when it comes to Euro 7 or Bharat Stage 7, there are different views existing across the globe on what could be Euro 7 and what is going to be Bharat Stage 7. Today, we don't have clarity on what are the norms that are going to come as Bharat Stage 7. Right? So having said that, in terms of technology, we will be fully prepared. We have a lot of capabilities in terms of developing solutions that can meet or exceed whatever comes as regulation for Bharat Stage 7.
But having the support of Benz, the global parent company, does that really help?
It do help because, it actually makes it easier for us to pick what are the best technologies that we can pick from the network and then adjust them to the local needs of the market, right? So for example, when the BS6 was developed, we not just tested the BS6 technology in India, because the same technology was also planned for implementation in other parts of the world. So we took the truck, the Bharat-Benz truck from here, took it to South Africa, and we tested the trucks in South African condition, which is even more severe compared to Indian condition. So that then we can make sure that our powertrain is much more suitable for very severe applications like what we have in the country. And this kind of common development, when we do across the globe using the Benz technology, that actually helps in terms of learning between the organization, and then also pick and deliver the best systems for the customers.
Right. I mean, you've also been exporting a lot from here, so you have so many variants where you have to cater to BS3 markets, BS4, BS6. How do you manage all that? How difficult is that?
Okay, in a way it is very difficult. At the same time, if it is done in a smart way, then it can be made easier, right? So we try to follow the model year logic, and then we try to have common platform. The basic platform that we have is very modular.
Okay.
So which actually helps in terms of taking the same platform with very limited adjustments that has to be done for different markets. And that has actually helped us to scale up in terms of exports. In less than 10 years, 2013, we started exporting. And then we are now in 2023. And we are exporting more than 50 countries in different configurations, left-hand drive, right-hand drive, Euro 2 to Euro 5. And also in terms of different extremities from, say, high temperature markets with 52-degree ambient temperature, and then also exporting up to markets like high altitude countries where the vehicles fly at more than 4,700 meters altitude.
Oh.
So, it was possible because of the modular platform and then well-defined development approach.
Pradeep, one of the causes in India is road accidents, and Bharat-Benz has always been saying that its vehicles are very safe from a driver's point of view. What are the factors that make this vehicle safer than the rest?
Yeah, so when we came to the market, the first thing that we did was to make sure that we have a very reliable and then strong braking system, right? So, and that was the starting point. And then we also chose the cabin, which was one of the best from the different options that we had from our network. And with that, we launched. And then some years back, we decided to add driver state monitoring system as a standard fitment in all our trucks. It was not a regulation at that point of time. We decided to add it because for us, driver safety is very important, right? So, and a lot of customers have come to us and then told that a vehicle with driver safety monitoring system, the number of chances that it gets into minor incidents, right? So reduces by more than 90% just by having a monitoring system. How do you reduce the accidents? You have to reduce the incidents.
Absolutely.
Out of 100, the statistic says you have 300 incidents from which one will be a major accident.
Right.
If you reduce this 300 to 30, you already reduce the major accidents, right? So with all these kind of systems, we can actually reduce the number of incidents that we have. So driver state monitoring system actually helped in terms of reducing these incidents and eventually accident, right? And in unforeseen situation of an accident happening, how do we protect the drivers, right? So that's where then the next step came. So last year we decided to upgrade the cabin to meet the latest crash safety norm that is prevailing in Europe. So India uses a norm which is equivalent to ECE R2902, and our cabin, the heavy duty cabin, is certified already for ECE R2903, which actually is even more safer compared to the current prevailing standards in the country. And what is more satisfying is when you meet our customers or when you talk to our drivers, they say, okay, there was an accident and then the driver walked out without a scratch, right? So that gives a fulfilling feeling when you hear those things. And this is not going to be the end. So we have a clear roadmap in terms of how we keep adding safety features to our trucks.
Any new changes planned in the pipeline that we may see in the next year or so?
So the next step eventually is adding a lot of active safety features.
Okay.
And we have a clear roadmap in terms of bringing more active safety features to improve the safety of our trucks.
There's been a talk of ADAS, being adopted in trucks as well. What is the feasibility of that, and from a cost point of view, how do you balance that out?
See, ADAS is going to help, right? So when we talk about ADAS, we talk about different levels of ADAS. The first ones are those which is like advanced warning. That is how it starts, and then the highest level will be autonomous driving, right? So that's how then the driver assistance systems can evolve. And will the cost justify? It's a very tricky question because it's not a case where you can make a simple business case to justify. Imagine one accident is saved or avoided, right? So the first thing, the life is saved, right? So one or more than one life is saved, which means the livelihood for the family is secured and the family's happiness is secured, which you can't put
Priceless.
Priceless, right? Absolutely. Second, the truck doesn't need any repair. When accident happens and then a cabin has to be repaired or replaced, it's going to be enormous effort and money for the transporter. And third is the downtime and then commitment of transporter to his customer, right? So if one accident is avoided, his vehicle is available for at least 20 to 30 days, depending on the
Correct.
damage, right? So all this, it's not easy to put a number behind, right? So, but my personal opinion, ADAS is going to change all this towards betterment. We can bring transporters to a situation where they have no accidents fully. Right. Today, e-commerce trucks in the country, they meet at least 2 accidents a year because of the nature of the operation. Right? And then imagine that can be made zero. What kind of future is ahead of us, right? So that's the potential of ADAS. And here, actually, all the money that we talk, we can keep aside because the benefit that we are going to get is going to be enormous.
So, Pradeep, the next question, actually, a couple of transporters have asked me to ask you, when do we see ADAS in Bharat Benz trucks?
Very soon. Okay, it's in the roadmap. We are in the development. When we talk, we have trucks in the testing. So you will hear from us on the launch plans, in the coming.
Nice. Pradeep, another problem or the issue that transporters face is shortage of drivers. How is DICV helping in this area?
Okay, so how is DICV helping transporters with driver shortage? We take a lot of effort in terms of driver training from 2 aspects. Of course, one is helping transporters to get qualified drivers, and then second, also training can yield a lot of benefits. One, of course, it can help in terms of operating the truck in a better way, so our transporters, our customers can earn better from the truck. Second, we can also train in terms of safe driving practices, right? That helps with safety as well. So one thing that we are doing is we have invested already in a driver training simulator, which is running in the plant. And then we have plans to expand, to add more. And then we also have a qualified set of drivers who go around and then constantly keep engaging with our customers and customer drivers in terms of upskilling our customers' drivers, so that then we get them qualified for all the changes that's happening with technology, with new products that's coming.
Now, the government just announced, set out on notification saying that AC cabins will be mandatory from 2025. Features like this and, the safety features that DICV trucks have to offer, does that make life simpler for a truck driver?
Yes, of course. When what is wrong in making life simpler, right? So, okay, I drive myself 500, 600 kilometers, right, on personal trips. It's actually not an easy job. For 6 or 8 hours, you keep driving with a lot of uncertainties on the road. And making life easier for drivers actually will bring a lot of benefit. One, actually, today driving is not seen as a very attractive profession. When you have all these things, driving will be seen as a attractive and a respected profession. Second, we improve the life and lifestyle of the driver. Third, all this can actually help in terms of improving the productivity and uptime of the trucks. And last but not least, all this will also help in terms of safety and health of the driver, right? So with a non-AC cabin, with the windows open, imagine a truck driver driving at 45, 50 kmph for 6 hours in summer in Rajasthan. You can imagine the amount of impact that's going to have on his health, right? And then we have seen that a lot of drivers who drive in these conditions, they have lost their hearing ability on their right ears, right? So having an air-conditioned cabin is actually going to help them secluded from all this harsh environment, and then make them work better, and then make their work more productive. And ADAS will also help in terms of this. So all this will actually help to reduce their distraction, so that they can be focused on what they are doing and then do it with a much better productivity and then a safer way.
Pradeep, there's also a concern among transporters as well as drivers that with AC trucks, the fuel consumption will go up. Now, is that a myth, or is just that there's a marginal drop?
Actually, with Bharat-Benz trucks, it's a myth. So today we already sell more than 60% of our trucks with AC. And when we launched, the same question was there. But now we have a lot of data also confirmed by our customers that with AC trucks, they don't see any drop.
Okay.
The reason is, with AC truck, you close the windows. So the aerodynamic resistance reduces. The flow becomes smoother, because of which whatever is dropped on the AC energy consumption is gained by the aerodynamics. So we don't see a drop of fuel efficiency with an AC truck.
Wonderful. That's great. See, there's again been a lot of talk on alternate fuels. What does DICV stand on? What's going to be the fuel of the future? What is the next best fuel to diesel?
See, as Daimler Truck, we have zeroed in on two fuels as the fuel for the future. So one is electric, and then second is hydrogen. And as a group, we believe that these two are going to be the fuel of the future. Both can be green, both are evolving, and both have high potential in terms of meeting all the demands that any automotive would need, right? So, but from an Indian perspective, how this transition will happen, nobody has a crystal ball which can give us a clear path, right? So we as a country have different approach to reach the greener mobility, but I believe eventually it will migrate towards electric and hydrogen.
Finally, Pradeep, one last question. We've seen a lot of changes happening in the transport industry, a lot of disruptions that have happened. Going forward, do you see any more disruptions which would really, shake up the commercial vehicle industry?
When it comes to disruptions for commercial vehicle industry, other than electrification and then greener mobility, there are two areas which will actually disrupt the way the commercial vehicle industry is operating. One is all these technologies that will get added, right? So if you see 10 years back, there was hardly any electronics into the truck. And today we are already talking about a lot of electronics. And 10 years down the line, it will be even more, right? So, and how do we leverage this electronics is going to be the bigger disruption. So this electronics is going to help in terms of bringing all these advanced features easier and faster, right? So ADAS will become easier. And when ADAS becomes easier, then you can significantly change a lot of things. Efficiencies can go up, safety can go up, accidents can come down. So that means the potential that these electronics will bring will be enormous. This will be one disruption. Adding to this, when you have a lot of electronics, the vehicle becomes like a gadget on the wheels, right? So with that, the amount of data that's going to come will help in terms of new business models emerging, new services emerging, in order to make the whole logistics operation more and more efficient. So 10 years or 20 years down the line, the way the logistics will operate could be completely different from what it is today. And a lot of that will be because of how the technology is going to evolve in the coming days. These are the two disruptions that I would foresee, which can have a bigger impact on the CV.
That was our interaction with Pradeep and glimpses from our visit at the Daimler India Commercial Vehicles Manufacturing Facility in Oragadam, Tamil Nadu. We will be back again next week with another very exciting interaction. Until then, stay safe and drive safe.